in 3:20. Oh, now we're back in session at 3:20. We're moving on to our discussion regarding the stop order of living wisdom. So we're going to start off by talking to representatives from Living Wisdom and hearing from them how they want to proceed with this basically a perceived infraction of our setbacks. So do you guys want to have a representative talk? Kirsten, hi.
I'll start. I'll just say, as our letter says clearly, we don't feel like we're at any fault. I understand that the town setbacks are different, but this was missed by the town, and we have proceeded, and the way it's going, and we can't really make any changes, as we've said. It just doesn't work. And we've assumed that everything is okay. And so that's where we're at. We haven't made don't have any other suggestions now.
Have you guys talked amongst yourselves about any community building, neighbor relations solutions that you could make a gesture?
In terms of the setbacks?
In terms of anything, how to move forward?
Well, other than that, I know that we have reached out to Dana and privately made a donation to Daya for a fence and had communication with him in the beginning. No, otherwise not.
That was y'all's idea to reach out to Daya and make a donation for him to have a fence?
Yeah. It's what he wanted to do. He wanted to put a fence up, and a few of us put our own private money together to help him have a fence.
Oh, so that was your pocket money?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, we had a new survey done, and the street is, right at the corner of Hemlock and Lime. It's 42 feet is what we're seeing. And then it gets narrower down to about 30 feet towards the end, the top of town. And obviously when you're out there, you notice that the street is almost too narrow right now as we speak for two cars to pass there. And it's up to the town to provide access to the lots that are above town. So lot 64, 49 are lots that are for sale right now, and people might develop down the road. So we might have an access issue to those lots that are up at the top there. That's one of our, that's partly a reason why you have setbacks, is because of those access issues, as well as this being a narrow road because it's at the edge of town. So we're feeling like that when we went back and we looked at the original plans from 2021, which for some reason we don't have hard copies on, we only have the soft copies in our computers. There's one plan on there, it's CL100. It does have the markings for setbacks on there, which you are correct that they were originally only 5 feet setback. And then we looked at the new plans, which we received after the planning commission had approved the extension of the planned unit development. We received the plans the day after that and saw, we could see that, again, those setbacks are written in there as 20 feet back, but that the community building is put in at 5 feet. So we're seeing that, even though we kind of felt like there was some pressure to approve the PUD and approve everything, pretty heavy pressure on the planning commission as well as the board, and which, you know, we will take responsibility for, that we approve those plans, as with only a 5-foot setback, which is against our code. However, we did receive in the building permit, which would have kind of been our last, or building application, which would have been our last chance to catch any kind of setback infraction. We had received a building application that basically said that there was gonna be a 25-foot setback. And a few letters in the past that also said that there was gonna be, setbacks were gonna be maintained in those letters. So we are, you know, we're in a place where we feel as though it's unfortunate because that road is so narrow and the access is really limited. But we're gonna have to let you continue to do your plans because they were approved that way. So, you know, if we really wanted to fight against that building application, we might be able to try to do that, but, you know, that's not where we're gonna go because it's not something that we can, you know, that we really wanna pursue as far as like perjury or whatever. So the board is, I think, has agreed that we're gonna lift the stop order and we're going to let you proceed, and hopefully you guys see that Lime Street is not gonna work, and we're gonna have to come back and figure out how to adjust Lime Street to allow for access in the upper areas of the town, as well as even to Dea and Charles and Dana. So that's kind of where we're at, I think. We can make a motion if we need to.
I don't know if the building inspector has to lift it.
And the building inspector, we're gonna direct the building inspector to lift it. Huh? Parking? Also the parking on, we're gonna restrict any parking on Lime Street. So that you guys will not be able to, have it, there won't be any parking allowed on Lime Street because we feel that there's just not gonna be enough room.
I'd like to make a motion that we instruct the building inspector to lift the stop work order.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
So I might just say one thing. Is that all right? You know, we're all like developing a new language as we move forward, as a mature society. So I recognize that the difference between intention and impact is pretty huge. And I think we've all been, emotionally and really heartfelt in support of the project. But the impact that we're finding that we were unaware of on the neighbors is very significant for their quality of life. And I think that it's really unfortunate that you've had to pay out of pocket to make amends for a multi-million-dollar project. And I even think that the multi-million-dollar project ought to be able to either make amends with the neighbors or move stuff, because all construction projects ultimately make some mistakes and have to make adjustments. So I think it's unfortunate that it's kind of unfolding that way. And as the mayor said, we missed a 5-foot setback on a plan however many years ago. That's also unfortunate that really our ultimate line of approval was a planning commission that doesn't have the skill set or capacity to even see those things. So we look at the more simplified versions, which for the record was that building permit application where your project manager indicated a 25-foot setback. So that was really appeasing to us to move forward in a rush and urgent and pressured situation. But I think the only legal grounds we have to stand on is to really inform you that Lime Avenue has to maintain traffic flow and drainage. So any slope off of the project going on to Lime Avenue has to be mitigated, traffic has to be mitigated. And I do think that when we're looking at a multi-million-dollar project, from our perspective, it would be really cool and neighborly, not for you to pay out of pocket, but for the project to do what it can to make amends with neighbors and or maintaining or improving the impact on Lime Avenue.
Right.
Also,
I hear you, Adam, and I find that it is unfortunate, and I really, wasn't our intention. And in terms of money, what I have to say, we're on a really tight budget ourselves, and this is not, there's no investors involved. Zero. We're giving our time for this project to accomplish something actually for the larger community in our Baca Crestone area and for old aging people. And so there is just no money in the budget to give to something, unfortunately.
so yeah, we'll just have to see how Lime unfolds and allow, well, it might be start off as an issue, and then I guess the town will address it as we go forward and see how it unfolds.
I'd like to point out that Lime Avenue is not going to be used hardly at all. The only access is the maintenance building and one ADA parking spot for somebody who wants to go into the community building. However, the parking was never intended to be on Lime, and we will honor what you're asking of us. And we don't anticipate there'll be any issue around parking. But if there is, then we will address it.
Mm-hmm.
Just to.
In other words, at the lower end, there is a large setback before the entrance to the property. You know that there's a much wider area from the street.
The concern is now to not take a bad situation and make it worse when the buildings are backfilled and getting more encroachment in to the property line or into the actual right of way.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the parking part, but the grading as well.
Yeah,
What
like
was your last word?
the north side of the community center, it's possible that y'all's plans would require some sort of backfill that slopes into Lime Avenue. There's even one drawing from 2021 that might indicate that. So based on that limited space, we're saying we can't have any backfill, we can't have any sloping into the actual road. So if that means retaining walls or whatever y'all have to do to mitigate that, we just don't have the room.
Mm-hmm.
And however that affects drainage as well.
Right.
And one other thing is it wasn't so much the parking or the access for your project, it's also the residents that live there and also residents that need to get up to lot 60 or block 64, which is at the far southeast corner of town. It doesn't, it limits them to be able to have access to their land as well.
And we're also looking at emergency vehicle access as well.
Correct, emergency vehicle access. So like I said, we're gonna have to see how it unfolds. Maybe there's some, as we go forward, maybe there will be some new insights that come out of it that we can, you know, help with those lots that are on the east side of town. But,
Mhm.
right now, this is the way it's gonna be, and we'll just, you know, move on. And I'm glad and sorry that there was, you know, this kind of upset. I feel like, you know, maybe we could have worked it out earlier. We definitely, felt, I think, I know the planning commission originally was very pressured into approving these plans by, different angles, and, we, you know, we are happy that they're approved. We're upset a little bit that we didn't catch the setback issue. So,
Okay,
This is Akia, and I'd
Thanks.
like to make a couple comments.
yes,
The first comment regarding the building permit application. If you will recall at the August meeting when we all met, excuse me, that was the first time that CPCH became aware that the original setback information that had been provided to the architect had been changed. We were unaware before August. So the information that went on to the building permit application was the information, excuse me, that had been provided to the architect.
actually, it's on the 2021 plans. The setbacks are shown in red on one of the plans. So there, it was known in
At
there.
5 feet.
Well, no, I mean, the setback, 20-foot setbacks are drawn into those original 2021 plans on page 20 of 25 in those original plans.
I do understand that. I'm just making the point that CPCH was not aware of that change. We weren't looking, nobody on our team was looking at setbacks during those plans. So that's why there was the miscommunication on the building permit application.
But to
There was
that
no-
point, I think that if that was the accurate case, we would have a defensible argument in court. But what we've discovered in our executive session, I think I can say what we discovered, Seth. Well, what we've discovered is that the 2021 plans indicate a 5-foot setback. So if they had indicated a 20-foot setback and you had filled out a building permit that said 25-foot setback, we would be pursuing you to move the foundation. But because we approved the 2021 plans with the 5-foot setback, we're letting it go.
But it's
My-
still, it still has the 2021 plans with a 5-foot setback in a 2024 building permit application with a 25-foot setback.
Right.
Which doesn't, you know, the decision that has been made still stands. It just, you know, like the information we've been given is very conflicting.
So maybe we should just move on now and,
Yeah. My second comment is that the dirt roads in the town of Crestone are usually developed at 16 to 20 feet wide. So I'm just confused about why there's so much concern about Lime Avenue when there is no development further east beyond Daya's house. I don't know why there's so much concern about cars passing each other. There's nothing up there, and there is access up to that property. So those are just my comments. I'm not here to argue. Those are just my comments. Thank you.
Those, just to let you know, those particular properties, if you walk out there, they're for sale. I don't know if they've been sold. I'm assuming that somebody bought them to develop them, so that's the only reason why eventually there's going to be somebody that's gonna want to have access to those particular blocks.
Are we moving on?
Yes,
We're gonna move on. Thank you, guys. I'm
Thank you. Thank you. This is a
Happy
big
we-
relief.
Thank you very much.
okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
I make a motion, we go into executive session.
a second,
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we are, I'm supposed to do that, but we're moving to go into executive session for the discussion of personnel matters under CRS, section 24-6, 402, parentheses 2, parentheses F, and not involving any specific employees who have requested discussion of the matter in open session. Any member of this body or elected official, the appointment of any person to fill an office of this body or of an elected official, or personnel policies that do not require the discussion of matters personal to particular employees, and the following additional details. We have provided an email correspondence with this particular employee stating that they want to have their evaluation done in executive session. And we are asking everybody to leave except for this particular person who is will be with us in executive session.